President Price, the Duke Board of Trustees, and most importantly, the class of 2026. Congratulations. I'm so honored to be here with you today. As it does every single year, today's ceremony falls on Mother's Day. To all the parents, grandparents, and loved ones who are chosen family in the stands, congratulations to you as well. You survived it all, from application anxiety to move-in day to panic text about grades, how competitive clubs are now to get into, or if sweaters can actually be washed. It must be amazing to watch these graduates take their next step. Well done. When I told my mom I was coming back to Duke, her first reaction was, "You need another degree?" No, Mom, just the speech. Though I am very thankful to receive an honorary doctorate today, which means technically I'm more educated than I was when I had breakfast this morning. And as a CFO, that is a pretty good deal. I do remember sitting in those same chairs in 1994. I'd stayed out a little too late one last night after a long week of staying out a little too late, shedding tears from a lot of laughs, and in some ways, the finality of it all. And looking back, I'm pretty happy that we didn't have phones or Instagram to capture all of those moments. And while I was excited to move to the big city in New York, leaving this place and special people was hard. I was ready, or so they told me, and not really ready all at once. You know, commencement speeches tend to have a formula. A person who seems to have it all figured out gets invited to share with all of you how you can also figure it out. And if there were an Excel spreadsheet formula or a prompt these days for figuring it out, I would happily share it. But when you look back over decades, and often at a distance, successful careers across so many fields look like a straight line. Up and to the right, graduate Duke, go to Goldman Sachs, Harvard, Microsoft CFO. But up close, there was a lot more flair, a lot more roller coaster, and certainly no well-orchestrated plan. I didn't come to Duke actually planning to be in the business and technology world. I came to be a doctor and started as a biology major. I was amongst the few, the proud, who loved organic chemistry. And when I decided after sophomore year that med school wasn't for me, economics was the major that required the fewest additional credits to graduate on time. So, econ, here I come. No obsession with supply and demand or the Keynesian school, just a need to graduate on time. So I took an internship focused on introducing women from non-finance backgrounds into banking. Again, not because I loved banking, I didn't really know what it was, but I wanted to move to New York. And Goldman Sachs was a great learning experience. I can assure you, I would not have been voted by my peers as most, or even decently likely, to succeed in finance. Business school felt a lot like a break after those long hours, then back to Goldman Sachs in San Francisco to try on tech for size. After a few years, it didn't feel right, and I tried to quit several times, and eventually the quitting stuck. I was thinking about going back to school, again. Third time's the charm, I thought. Maybe public policy this time. Then I saw that the National Park Service offered internships. I thought, this is perfect. It's a sign. I'll get assigned to Yosemite or Yellowstone, a place iconic. I'll work outdoors, I'll live somewhere beautiful and feel space and the energy that nature provides. I got assigned to Alcatraz. It's a prison on a rock. It's interesting and fascinating history and a super entertaining movie, but not the manifestation I was looking for. I was 30 and stamping souvenir booklets at a former federal penitentiary. I lasted 1 day. My parents were worried, and frankly, I was more than a little worried too. After months searching for a job, a friend called me and asked if I wanted to interview at Microsoft. I said, sure. I'd been rejected by them twice already a few years back, but I got the job and accepted it in the parking lot without knowing a single detail about my compensation. It was a job, a step forward, and truthfully, I needed a paycheck. I packed my reliable silver Volvo in San Francisco and hit the road to Seattle. New job, fresh start, everything finally on track after a bunch of false starts. And then I didn't show up on my first day because I forgot there was a state between California and Washington, Oregon. And for the record, Oregon is a beautiful state. I've been there since, voluntarily. And I've been at Microsoft now for over 2 decades. But what started as just a job that frankly didn't sound that cool, wasn't in a city I loved, and seemed, frankly, like a company that was too big, turned into the opportunity of a lifetime in a city that I now consider home. I'm sharing it with you because as you start out, many successful careers are rarely, if ever, a straight line. Your next step doesn't have to be a perfect one, it just has to be an opportunity. And even the ones that now seem silly built confidence or taught me a lesson. And I can't believe I'm saying this to some of the most accomplished young people on the planet. But maybe lower your bar a little. Be open that something may not be exactly right, but could turn out to be a perfect place to learn about yourself, what you like, what you don't. All the steps matter, and it took me decades to figure that out. But what's remarkable about your generation is you mostly already know that. You've been adapting your whole lives, and that's a superpower. Which brings me to this special university. Many things have changed since I was here. I took notes on paper, I lugged around giant science textbooks in a double-strapped backpack, and I found my friends without a phone. I went to parties in sections and not in fields. But many things also haven't changed. You sleep in tents for long periods of time, you still burn benches, but I've heard there's now a safety team, and you have permits and stokers and extinguishers, and entire organizations get dedicated to making no one gets hurt while setting furniture on fire. I mean, that's great, it's progress. When I was here, people just lit things on fire and hoped for the best. But here's what I actually want to say about Duke. The most important thing I got in this place wasn't my economics degree, although I am thankful. It was something I didn't realize I was learning at the time, and Duke, it taught me how to learn, not what to learn, how. How to ask questions, how to sit with a problem I didn't understand and stay with it until something shifted. How to work with people who thought differently than I did and not assume I was the one who was right. How to be curious, relentlessly curious. And in fact, to use an accounting term, which always makes you sound cool, it was a skill that never depreciated. So many things have been rewritten or made obsolete over time with new depths of discovery. But the ability to keep learning when the ground is shifting is the thing that carried me through every uncertain moment I just described to you. At Microsoft, we talk about this all the time. We call it a learning culture. The idea that being intellectually curious and learning it all beats a know-it-all every time. We've survived decades as a company in an industry that only seems to have one constant, and that's rapid change. The thing that got me through the growing pains wasn't a plan. It was the ability to keep learning and grinding it out when the plans stopped working. And that started here, in this place, with the same education provided by incredibly talented professors who have stoked all of that in you. So let's move to you. Some of you are excited, some of you are terrified, some of you don't know your next step, and some of you do. A few of you are still hungover, and that's fine, I've been there. You're walking out of this stadium into a world that is moving faster than it ever has. Every generation has faced uncertainty, and when I graduated, some of that was true as well. The career advice that I received included things like learn how to use email and make sure your resume is on good paper. Just know that whatever advice people are telling you right now may not age that well, but they are well-intended. The feeling of not knowing what's next is as old as commencement speeches, but this moment is different. The speed of change today is different, and the scale of it feels different. And you're graduating into a world where the ground is shifting under every institution and industry and every assumption about what a career might look like. It's okay to be scared of that, but you're walking into this far more prepared than you realize. You went through a global pandemic when you were 14 or 15. Your classrooms disappeared, your routines vanished. Adults around you were nervous and you adapted, you kept going, you figured it out. You're already experts in uncertainty. Being an expert in something doesn't mean it feels easy. You're going to have plenty of moments where you have no idea what you're doing, and the path ahead looks like sheer nonsense. So here's the one thing I wish someone had told me a lot sooner. There aren't many one-way doors. People, and frankly, even places like Duke, can wire you to believe that every decision is make or break. I see now that most of the choices I agonized over, shed tears over, lost sleep over, had a perfectly accessible undo button. I treated every fork in the road like it was permanent, when almost none of them are. I hope each of you stops seeing the world as one-way doors, so your choices are less clouded by fear and begin to feel like chances that you should take. So let me give you 3 things to remember. And if it's anything like my experience at work, I'll be super happy if you remember 1. So the first, learn. The world's going to change on you more than once, and in ways nobody in the stadium can predict. The degrees you're holding today are valuable, but the most valuable thing Duke gave you is the ability to stay learning. Stay curious when things stop making sense, and please ask questions when everyone around you is already pretending they know or have the answer. That ability is the one thing that never goes out of date. Keep choosing it. Second, community. Duke truly changed my life. My husband, Max, was Duke class of '93. Our closest friends, who have become extended family and aunts and uncles to our 2 girls, are classmates. Met on football teams, sections, or in our freshman dorm. The best networking event I ever attended was my freshman orientation. I don't remember every class I took here. Although a Chaucer class, which was way out of my comfort zone, has some especially hilarious recollections, I do remember sunny spring days on benches, late night food, not as nice as you have, 9th Street strolls, recalling the prior night, and many, many road trips. My days here literally changed the course of my life and are responsible for the things that matter the most to me. My family and those friends who are now my family too. Look around this stadium. These people sitting next to you, the ones who pulled all-nighters, who made you laugh when everything felt impossible, this is your community. Invest in them, celebrate them, be there. You will find that they are there for your entire life's best and lowest moments. 4 years quickly turns into 40 years of friends. It is, as a CFO, the best return you'll ever get. To the parents and families who made these 4 years of community possible, I know you sacrificed and supported these graduates as they worked to get here. The values, the confidence, the grit, the hustle, that you got this self-talk, that was all them. And what an amazing gift that is to give to all of you. And finally, show up. Be in the room, ask questions, put yourself out there. You have so many ideas right now in the stadium that the world needs to hear and to see. You will figure out who you are by stepping in and letting people push back, by doing things that scare you just a little, by raising your hand when you're pretty sure you don't have the right answer, and by taking a job that doesn't make sense on paper, but makes sense to you. Remember, there aren't that many one-way doors, so go blow through a few of those things. And if you get a no, just try a new door. Every step builds confidence, even the ones that feel like mistakes at the time, especially those. After all, the best stories always come from those moments. And one last thing in honor of Mother's Day. I grew up here in the South, right next door in Tennessee. So I got a lot of very pragmatic advice growing up. When I was nervous about doing something or worried I wasn't good enough or wasn't as smart as everyone else, my mother would say, "Amy, you're plenty smart." No solution, no working through a step-by-step plan, just you're plenty smart. Meaning, I'm not worried. You'll figure it out. So on Mother's Day, let me pass it on from my mom to you. Class of 2026, you are certainly plenty smart. You'll figure it out. One messy step at a time. And trust me, the mess is where all the good stuff happens. You've mastered uncertainty. You're builders, you're adapters, you're learners, and you're walking into a world that has never needed those instincts more than it does right now. It needs you. And I'm so excited to see what you'll do. So go learn, go find your people, show up, grind it out. And if you ever forget about an entire state and miss your first job, you're gonna be just fine. So congratulations, happy Mother's Day, and go Duke.